I'm gonna walk you through everything you need to not only find a clothing manufacturer, but also how to communicate and negotiate with that manufacturer so you can get the perfect samples and perfect bulk order for your clothing brand in 2026. I'm not gonna sell you anything in this video, and everything will be for completely free. And it's the exact same strategy that I teach my clients to find manufacturers no matter what niche they're in, whether they're trying to sell clothes like this, that look like this, that's more streetwear, or if it's just more comfort and gym and athleisure wear, or if you're selling all the way from shoes, things like this, all the way up to fashion dresses. It doesn't matter. This is going to cover how to find a clothing manufacturer for that, negotiate those prices, and find the perfect sample and perfect bulk order every single time from a trusted manufacturer who's not going to scam you. So let's hop straight into the video. If you want our one-on-one mentorship and you want to get mentored by me one-on-one, you can apply for that link down in the description. The first step you want to do is make sure you're going over and using Alibaba. Now, I'm going to be showing you a different way to leverage and use Alibaba than what's different and what's shown out there right now on YouTube. So first, when you hop on Alibaba, again, this is the updated 2026 version of how to find a manufacturer. You want to make sure you go on to manufacturers, this tab right here. Now from here, you'll see where it has categories and it has apparel and accessories. You can go from over here and then try to go ahead and find your actual category of clothing. If you can't find it in this category, I would recommend just go ahead and search it up. So let's imagine we're doing a streetwear hoodie. I would search up streetwear hoodie. And you can see Alibaba has recently went out and integrated their own AI that's actually pretty good in showing you pretty high quality manufacturers right off the rip. I mean, you can see here, this manufacturer's been in for 12 plus years, has a 40 plus staff with over, a 2,400 square foot office, a 30% reorder rate, 90% on-time delivery time, very fast response time, and over $500,000 in online revenue. So it's like, if I order from a person like this, I feel pretty confident that not only they have the ability, but they've also done it for other people, and those people keep coming back. But still, even with that, there's a few things that I want to make sure that I leave checked on there to make sure, again, I don't have to worry about ever, getting scammed from my manufacturer. I get fast, on-time delivery every single time, and it's high quality clothes being delivered to me. So there's a few different filters that you want to check. The first and most important one is trade assurance. Okay, so what trade assurance does is it basically protects your order. It puts your money into escrow so that they don't get the money until you actually approve that you got the sample, everything looks good, or you got the bulk order and everything looks good. Once you approve it, then the money is released to them. But until then, it goes into what's called escrow. So it really protects you. If they're late, they don't deliver on time, you can very easily get a refund because, again, the manufacturer never even got that money. It beats sending a wire, which if you send a wire, no way to recover that money. If the manufacturer stopped hitting you up that day, you're screwed out of 10 grand plus or however much you're spending on orders. So it's definitely worth making sure this trade assurance and that the manufacturer has that. Another one I do is showed verified manufacturers only. And you'll start noticing there's categories on here. You want to start paying attention to things like the reorder rate. That's just letting you know how many people are consistently coming back. Another thing I really pay attention to is the actual online revenue. I don't want to make sure that online revenue is like less than 100K. Like for instance, this one has 12K in online revenue. I probably personally wouldn't order from these guys. It's not that they're not manufacturing, it's that they're relatively new to the Alibaba platform. They may be a new manufacturer. They may be ironing out some creases. I want a vetted pro who's experienced, who's done it before, and is used to giving high quality on-time orders, right? Another thing we're looking for is on-time delivery. If you guys have ever ordered from a manufacturer, you know how much of a nightmare it is to let your customers know, even for like a pre-order, for instance, and a manufacturer's running late. So if you look at this percentage, it lets you know how often those deliveries get there on time. You can see this manufacturer right here, 100% on-time delivery. There's not been a shot or a chance when it hasn't delivered on time. Very fast response times, a very high reorder rate here, and some pretty solid online revenue. So this right here already is a pretty good manufacturer. And I can go through, look at some of the pieces that they made. I can also take a look at a lot of the manufacturing pictures, and I can start vetting my manufacturer before I ever even work with them. Again, a lot of people, and this new method that I'm showing you, it really just lets you vet your supplier before you ever even go out and reach out to them. A lot of people don't do that vetting process properly. You want to make sure your manufacturer is experienced. You want to make sure they have orders in the past, and you want to make sure they're delivering stuff on time and they have a good track record. Very important. Take that to a manufacturer that looks like this, for instance. They're from Pakistan, right? 68% on-time delivery, very low reorder rate because people aren't going to reorder if it's a bad quality or if it took too long, and then low online revenue. They probably wouldn't be getting my business no matter how good their pieces look. Another really cool thing is you can go in and start, separating by supplier and region. So you can choose Chinese manufacturers, even Pakistan manufacturers. I recommend China as far as manufacturing goes. You're gonna get the cheapest and highest quality. China is the manufacturing hub of the world. Yes, they manufacture better than America. Yes, they manufacture pretty much better than every other country out there. That's what China is known for, is high quality, very cheap manufacturing. It's why you're able to get stuff so cheap from China, not only because their currency is lower, but because they're known for having huge manufacturing hubs out there. If you've ever been to China, it's just factory after factory after factory of manufacturing, warehouses of people doing that. And that's why they're able to be so competitive. Pakistan's also really good and known for that as well. So boom, now we've done a little bit of research, right? The goal is, I personally like to go out and I look at every manufacturer on here. You'll notice there's hundreds of manufacturers on this page here. You see this is, 5 pages long already. Each page has 10 or so manufacturers. That's 70 manufacturers that, we're looking at just right here. I like to go out and I just like to make sure I'm comparing, looking at getting a good reorder rate, try to get my reorder rate in like the 20 to 30% rate, nothing less than 100 grand in online revenue, very fast on time delivery rate, 90% and above. I even take a look at how long they've been around, try to make sure they've been around for, at least 2 to 3 years minimum. I make sure I send and find 30, even all the way up to 50 manufacturers that I then go to the next stage, which we're going to talk about now, and that's sending the actual message out to your manufacturer. Now, when you're sending out your message to a manufacturer, you want to make sure you're asking really detailed questions to see if they're a good fit for what you're needing. Now, a few questions you should ask, and I'll break them down. Again, this is coming from a guy who's done and negotiated with manufacturers for a long time. The worst thing you can do is not negotiate with your manufacturers. So this is going to not only make sure they can do the piece at a high quality, but make sure you're getting a very fair and competitive price and you're not getting overcharged because you're an American with a lot of money. The first question I always ask is, overall, what's your MOQ, right? We want to make sure that they're not saying anything ridiculous. Some of these companies, you'll notice, they work with Lululemon sized brands, billion dollar companies. They may have a MOQ and they're not used to working, or they don't really, fit well with smaller companies. If you're a smaller company only trying to order, let's say 100 or 50 pieces, figure out that minimum order quantity, how much orders minimum you have to place with them before actually being able to get started and have them start manufacturing your order. I've seen some manufacturers have ridiculous MOQs. They may have, again, 1,000 order MOQ for a particular piece because they're used to working with those big brands, meaning you have to go out there and spend 50 grand. Well, if you're a small business, you may not have 50 grand to spend. You, again, may only be ordering 50 pieces. Another thing you want to do is, before you ever even order bulk in the first place, you should be getting a sample made. Like, you should get 1 or 2 pieces made and sent to you so you can go in and expect the quality. And when it's time to place 50 or 5,000 shirts, you know exactly what that quality is going to look like from the first order. So always make sure you know how much a sample cost is. A typical sample cost for like a t-shirt or a hoodie can be anywhere between $100 to $200. So make sure they have a fair sample price and it's something that they are willing to be able to do for you. And then the third thing that I always make sure I know is, especially with my bulk, how long is that going to take? Most manufacturers are going to quote an average price or average time for around 30 to 45 days. We just want to make sure it's not anything ridiculous outside of that. And we want to see if there's other manufacturers that potentially, some Pakistan manufacturers can get it done in 2 weeks versus 30 days. That's a whole 2 weeks and timeline that may be beneficial for your customers, or may let you drop your collection 2 weeks earlier than if you work with a different manufacturer. Now, this last question right here, this is actually manufacturing negotiating sauce. I should charge for this, but I'm gonna give it away for free in this video. This fourth question is asking them, what is the price for different quantities of order? Now, I'll explain what this means. When you're working with these manufacturers, again, you'll see some of these guys, they range. Some of them are $1 million companies that have done 1.2 million in online revenue from Alibaba alone. Some are just starting, right? And they've done tens of thousands of dollars. So anytime you're ordering from a manufacturer, you got to know, number one, the price is negotiable. Everything is negotiable in China, right? Everything is negotiable in Pakistan. Everything is negotiable in third world countries. And online in business, most of the time it is also negotiable. I want to make sure you understand how they price things first. So first and foremost, how it works with a manufacturer, the business model is the more things that you're ordering from them, typically the cheaper it costs. If they have to go out there and source, let's say, cotton for your t-shirt, it may cost them for a certain amount of cotton. Let's say you're buying, let's say it takes a pound of cotton. I'm just going to give you some arbitrary numbers that don't mean anything, but just to kind of give an example. Let's say it costs a pound of cotton. A pound of cotton is, let's say, $10 for the manufacturer to make 100 t-shirts. All right, so let's say this is 100 t-shirts. So if you're ordering 100 t-shirts from that manufacturer, off the bat, they have costs to be able to get the clothing and the materials to be able to make your clothes. They're trying to make a profit and they're a business just like you, right? So if you only order a pound, it's going to cost them $10 to make 100. But let's say instead of 100 t-shirts, you order 10,000 t-shirts. Well, all of a sudden you have a way bigger order. So now what do they need? They need more cotton. Maybe 1 pound isn't going to cut it. Let's say all of a sudden now they need 10 pounds of cotton, right? And now they have to source 10 pounds of cotton, which is a way bigger amount. Well, now since they're ordering more cotton, their supplier is going to give them a better price if they order more of the same thing. So instead of them paying $10 for 1 pound, maybe they're paying $5. So now they pay $50 for 10 pounds of cotton. They got a better deal. Well, since they got a better deal, now they can give you a better deal if you order more. So that's typically how it works. The more you order, the cheaper it is for them to source it because they can buy more of something, which means they get a better deal, which means they can pass those savings off to you. And manufacturers know this. And if you really want to get down to the root of how much it costs them to make something, they're always going to charge you a little bit more if you order less. And they're going to break down that price and get really down to basically the bare minimum cost of what it costs them to make something at a higher price. So I'll always say, hey, what's your price for 100 pieces? They're going to quote, let's say, $100 a shirt. This is just an example. For 500, they may give you $50 a shirt. For 1,000 pieces, they may say $30 a shirt. Now, all of a sudden, I know it costs them, they're somewhere making that t-shirt for themselves at around maybe 25 to 30 bucks and taking a little bit of profit. Over 1,000 pieces, $5 in profit is $5,000. So I know I can probably go and negotiate with that manufacturer and say, hey, instead of starting off with $100 for 100 pieces, I want to get this same shirt for 35 bucks. And you can really start negotiating with that manufacturer once you start understanding their pricing a little bit better and how they're actually marking that up. So boom, you send a message over to the supplier. If you want a more detailed full script message you'll be able to send to your supplier, go ahead and comment the word supplier down below in the comments, and I'll send you what I would send to a manufacturer and exactly how I would conversate. But just make sure it's around these 4 questions, or comment the word supplier and I'll tell you exactly what I say word by word that's helped me negotiate these manufacturers. You're also going to make sure you need to include a tech pack inside of talking to your manufacturer. Now, if you don't have a tech pack already made, you can go ahead and create a tech pack for yourself or find someone who knows how to create a tech pack. Or the cheapest, fastest way that you can do is with a site called Dokimi. The link for this is going to be down in the description. I love using this. Not only can you design and make model shots and videos on Dokimi for like photo shoots, but they have a really cool feature on here that allows you to make tech packs as well. I'm not going to dive too deep in this. It's super simple to do. You upload the reference photos, upload the graphics that you can get from Dokimi itself, brief design description, talk about the different specs, and it makes you a full in detailed tech pack. Let me show you an example. So here's an example straight out of Dokimi of what these tech packs look. And you can see it's very detailed. It pulls and shows the actual t-shirt, the inches, how, the different arrows, the different dimensions of the shirt. It's 4 pages. It literally lets your manufacturer know exactly how to build this and gives them the blueprint for how they should make this piece, what material they should make it out of, how thick that material should be, what the sizing and dimensions should be, and basically lets them know exactly how to create the perfect product that you're looking for. Combine this tech pack with the message when you send it out to the manufacturer so they can give you an accurate sample cost, and an accurate timeline for how long it's going to take them to actually make this. And again, if you want to make a tech pack, go ahead and use Dokimi. Link for that is down in the description. So boom, now you have a solid list of manufacturers. You're sending out tech packs and the message to your manufacturers. So now you're getting a lot of manufacturers that are quoting you and they're saying, hey, I can do that. They're quoting you a certain price. How do you filter out and choose the best manufacturer? Because obviously you texted so many manufacturers, you can only choose, one or two manufacturers to work with. When it comes to filtering out manufacturers, I go off of 4 main categories. The first and foremost is quick response time. I want to know how quick the response time was. If I texted them at this certain time, how fast did it take them to get back to me? Now, if I'm texting a Chinese manufacturer, I'm obviously going to keep into consideration that, there is a time gap. When it is 12 p.m. in America, it's like 12 a.m. in China. It's midnight, right? So I'm going to keep and be reasonable with that timeline, but I want to make sure it's not taking days to respond. And when it is their time zone, they're actually responding in a quick manner. Another thing is that the pricing is reasonable. I'm not looking for the cheapest manufacturer. That signals low quality. I'm also not looking to get ripped off. I want to find a happy medium, right? Same thing. If they have expedited production like we talked about, if they're a Pakistan manufacturer that can do it in 14 days versus a 30-day China manufacturer, that may give them a +1 because I can get my order out faster to customers. And then last but not least is just overall professionalism, right? If they're sending me just like one word, bro, or not using punctuation versus the manufacturer that just goes above and beyond, and maybe they hired somebody to actually go out and write professional messages, it just signals that the company is they just treat it with a little bit more care. So they may treat my products and t-shirts or whatever I'm, manufacturing with a little bit more care and professionalism. So I'm always looking for that professionalism. No matter what, I'm always going to choose bare minimum 2 manufacturers personally. Now, if you're on a tight budget, you can get away with 1. I would always recommend doing 2, if not 3 manufacturers. So if you order a sample, do it from 2 or 3 different manufacturers. They're all going to make roughly the same sample, but you'll notice some get other details better than others. Some had a better experience, never actually delivered on their promise, potentially a little bit better than others. So typically you get to really see how it is with the manufacturer when you order a sample. And typically if you do 2 or 3, you can get that very best manufacturer that you want to work with that made that top of the line sample that you can then go ahead and place your bulk order with and trust them. That's all I got for you guys in this video. That's absolutely every single thing that you're going to need to find a trusted manufacturer that can handle literally whatever you throw at them if you do exactly what I told you guys in this video. Again, if you want to work with us one-on-one, perhaps you're having marketing problems or website problems, or you just want to scale your clothing brand out to bigger months and work with someone one-on-one to help you get there, you can apply for my mentorship, link down in the description, sandersconsultingco.com/book. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed the free sauce. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.